Hello, everybody. All right, let's get right down to it. This is Redhat on the New York Stock Exchange and 10-year monthly candle charts. As I usually do, you're seeing the my raw thinking. I'll try to verbalize my actions, give them a little more meaning. And you're actually pretty much seeing how my brain interprets my chart analysis and using protocols, whatever my brain has programmed over the years to look at when I'm looking at just raw data, chart with no lines, no trend lines, and trying to work out what I'm actually seeing here and how I could use that to apply risk and eventually money management protocols. So right now, while I'm talking, I've been doing ascending channel trend lines, support here, and a parallel one for resistance here. So Redhat seems to have been in a positive channel, ascending channel for a good 7 years. And another pattern here has emerged at the around the $85 level, $83 level, and it was a breakout right there. So bullish move above a bullish move. So we had a consolidation within the ascending trend line. And the measured move from that, I'll draw the yellow line here. So that was just a previous move that just happened about how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About a year ago. So we had this move that could have been played if we would have been following this. So here it is. Here's the takeoff, the breakout pattern. So within a bigger pattern, there's always, it's better to have another breakout pattern, which is a shorter term pattern, which gives some value to the closest intermediate target. And right now, that target, you see, you would have, here's the pattern. Here you would have had your breakout. You would have probably played this candle. It had a close above the breakout line of 83. You would have put your sell stop underneath the bottom of the candle here at around 80.59. And you would have put a target around the 101 level. There's no previous resistance here or support turn resistance. So you're pretty much in the clear right now of hitting a wall. A wall is what I call some resistance, which could absorb a price action, a strong move. And most often you have to retest the wall a few times and then maybe eventually it breaks. But just the fact that over time of testing the wall, well, you have this. You have a consolidation pattern moving sideways until that wall is pierced to the north or a breakdown to the south. So right now you would reach your target. You're in 1 month, 3 months later, 4 months later, you're out of there. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have about a 2-year pattern. And yielding took 4 months to reach a target. So that's pretty good. And right now it's been just almost like a exponential, right? It's been going high. But what seems to be happening right now is we seem to have hit some resistance around the 127 level. We haven't had a close above that level. We've had wicks. And we seem to also have a bounce off here, so the support is 120. So this seems to be a bullish or consolidation flag or rectangle in the process of being traced out right here. It's been 3 months. We've been ranging between the 120 and 127. So what's the next move? Well, let me create my my black area, which I like to have here, to imagine what could happen. And let me jot that down. So right now, what would happen with this type of move is eventually if it breaks up to the north or south, we either have a measured move from that pattern on top of the breakout line, or we have a that same height at the bottom added to the breakdown line. So the next two targets for Redhat right now that I see is the 134, almost 135 level. If we have a close above 127, or you have a move to the south at 112 bearish target if you have a breakdown below 120. That pattern is short. It's still in a bullish trend. We could see here with the RSI, there seems to be no bearish. Oops, carried the wrong. See, guys, it's not always pretty. Seeing this raw, unedited version of going through a chart. Sometimes you see charts with nice lines, everything posted in a static blog. But there's actual work behind that reasoning, thought process to challenge yourselves. Sometimes I could draw a chart, draw some lines, and I don't know. You relook at it, and it's different. You missed some things. You had a biased opinion when you were doing it. Somebody could have told you, Redhat, I have inside information. News are coming out soon, whatever. And then you go in skewing your view of when you analyze. Honestly, this is Redhat, but it could have been called Orange's Ink, Apple Ink. I don't really care. All I see is a graph. Then I have my classical charting principles. And that's all I do. Keep it simple. Reduce the noise. It's really not flashy stuff. It's really not emotional and not popular. So I don't really look at that stuff. I just try to keep the sentiment to zero and forget what the ticker, what it is under, what they're doing, and just analyze the chart as it is. All right, so that was for the RSI. We're good with that. There's no bearish divergence. And we could also here see there's an ascending trend line, which is very aggressive in the works. Oof, I'm not even sure I want to go there. It's too, it's very steep. And it's too short to be able to really identify that move yet. What I'd like to see maybe is more consolidation here. You could play these short targets here, and we could look at them weekly right now to see when you don't have many candles. You have to draw, and you really feel like you want to play. You have to see on the shorter time frame what you're dealing with. And let me zoom into that. Scoot that over to the left and explode that. And you see this is noise. I put these alerts where I thought the resistance was, but on the weekly chart, if you would have played it, you would have seen that you would have been triggered out. There's still a lot of noise, so there's nothing to play here on the weekly. The resistance seems to be, the support seems to be identified as okay, but on the weekly, you still have some spikes outside of that stronger resistance of the 127. So a lot of whipsaws here. Not much play to be done here. It's wait and see for the 10-year candle chart to give you that signal there to get in. All right, so that's about it for Redhat. Raw, unedited. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.